Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. Today, Wave 2, the Koranak. And it's not that the Koranak itself is amazing, but it's that the Keldon class gave hope to Dominion players. This is the ship that I ran for a very long time in this game, early on. This was my jam. But let's get into why. 5143, fairly impressive stats, 7 durability, 5 attack, 26 points, crew, double weapon, double tech, 2 techs, you can make some nice stuff work there. Named ability here, instead of making a normal attack, you may spend a scan token to attack 2 different ships with your primary weapon at -2 attack dice each. Well, 2 3 dice attacks, not amazing, but like in mission play when you need to attack an objective and you still want to attack the enemy, it's playable, but it's not that exciting. Keldons are meh. Well, at least the Koranak, meh. I'm not a fan of multi-attacking at the cost of a bunch of dice. -1 attack die, yeah, sure. -2, it just hurts. Plus spending a scan token, rough. Now that Vulcans have a lot of ways to get multiple scan tokens, I could see some additional play here. Downside is you don't have a lot of crew to play with, and Vulcan crew are what really make that tick. So, yeah, it's there. But, yeah, the Koranak, it's a 180. And a 5-die 180 is what was exciting. Plus 2 white turns. You could actually turn this ship. You could get into good position. It was scary. And you could run 3 of these because the generic was, at the time, 24 points. Now it's down to 20 points. And you could still put a crew, a weapon, 2 tech on it. And, yeah, this was the thing. For 100 points, which the game was played at 100 points for a bit, or even 120, you could run 5 or 6 of these, and no captains, no upgrades whatsoever. And you had a solid fleet. Yeah, sure, it was risky. It was 6 durability. You'd lose a ship here and there. You were better off running 1 less and getting upgrades, of course. But still, 5 attack dice. It's a good thing. It still is a good thing. Because, as good as Vorchas are, I still think Keldons have something here because they have built-in battle stations. They have built-in scans. Sure, they don't cloak, but they've got a 180 arc and they've got 5 dice. I mean, Vorchas had the 5 dice too, but yeah. Then we got Captain Gold Ducat. And Ducat, skill 7, talent slot, 5 points. Your ship may perform an evade or a battle station action as a free action each round. Sound reminiscent of Jean-Luc Picard, skill 9? Give me all the actions? Yeah, it does. It's a mini version. Sure, lower captain skill, slightly annoying. But you can put battle stations on anything you want. You can run Ducat on Gallers that don't have battle stations. Now he does. You can evade. There's really good flexibility here. This is stuff we like. Ducat, very good captain. Loses out a bit, but still very playable. Golovec, each time you defend, you may reroll all of your blank results 1 time. For a skill 4 captain, 2 points that you can defend, you get a reroll of blanks. This is good. This is a good captain. Works better if you cloak your ship. Golovec on Ducat's Bird of Prey is not a terrible captain. More so he's better on the generic version, the Dominion one that can, the Dominion Bird of Prey that can cloak. But still, getting to reroll blanks, it's fantastic. Captured Intelligence, unique talent for 3 points, and I always find talents that aren't 5 points at least intriguing. Before you roll your defense dice, if you don't have an evade token beside your ship, you can discard this card to place an evade token beside your ship. In addition, each time you defend during this round, you use this ability. During the round you use this ability, you roll 1 extra defense die. So if you know you're going to be the target of a bunch of attacks, or if you use this with like Core 6, whose action is to be the target of every attack, then this is actually really good. I find this card at least playable. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's a good, solid card. I would love something like this in Alliance. But again, it's a Dominion card. If we ever get an Alliance box or something like that from the Dominion side, I would really hope that that a card like this works or exists in some capacity. Enhanced weaponry, 5 point, 5 attack die weapon. Spin your target lock, disable the card to attack at range 2 to 3, and if you fire it from a Keldon class, you get an extra attack die. I'm not impressed by this card. It doesn't do anything that a torpedo doesn't. It's a replacement for a photon torpedo that gives me a nice little benefit on a Keldon, but I'm not paying 5 points for 1 extra attack die. I have other ways to get those. So enhanced weaponry, just bad card. Dorsal weapons array, 3 points, 3 dice, attack, disable this card to fire 360 at range 1 to 3. This is a solid card on the bugs, even the Gallers. I'm not a big fan of it on the Koranak or the Keldons. I have run it on those ships before, but it's better on ships that have a 90 arc. You can run it on the big battle cruisers. Again, it's not everything, but it's at least playable. And then we get a cloaking device, and you can cloak the Keldon, and you're not going to pay 9 points to cloak anything else, or 10 to go cross faction. But aside from mission play, I'm never going to run this. And that's the only time I'm ever going to want to put cloaking on the Keldon. That's it. So we're going to leave it at that. Then we get Tetrion emissions. Action, disable this upgrade to add +3 defense dice each time you defend this round. Hey, at least it's each time, because for 2 actions it better be. I can see running this with Golovec because at least you get to re-roll your blanks. It hurts not to have any kind of quality on the card like this, because as we've seen from cloaking, raw dice with cloaking is not a winning proposition, and 3 more dice is roughly equivalent to an evade. It's an evade plus an eighth of an evade, 12.5% of an evade. So is this better than an evade action? Barely, but then it loses out if you ever want to run it again. And at that point, I question why it exists. It can be much better. It can be amazing. It can be 3 evades. Or it can be worse. It can be 0. So if you like gambling, then here's a card for you. If you don't, just take the evade action. Don't even bother putting this on your ship. Then we get Bohica. And Bohica is, I would still consider a very good crew. If your ship has battle station token beside it, when you attack, you can convert a blank into a hit. Would love a card like this in Alliance. I think Bohica needs to see a little bit more play in attack wing games. I start to struggle with him existing as a 2-point card. I feel like he needs to be a 1.5 point card, and I Should probably have more of a discussion about my half point cards, but there's just something that like Bohica just struggles with competing now as 2 points. But I still think he's very valuable. And if you're making multiple attacks on like a Sao Paulo, he's great because you're always going to have a battle station token. You're going to roll a blank probably, so you might as well get that passive conversion. And Bohica works. So overall, the Koranak, if you can find it, this is a pack that's worth picking up still to this day. Bohica, solid. The dorsal weapons array, nice bonus include. Captured intelligence, nice solid card. Golovec, a good bonus captain. Goldicott, a very good top line captain. And generic Keldons. Chef's kiss. Just love those Keldons. I might be, well, not might be, I am completely biased that the Keldons are great, but they have a lot to offer. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Koranak, go buy it. It's worth it. Don't overpay, of course, but it's worth getting. So, anywho, thank you all for watching. Till next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.